Alright, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliot and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today we're gonna talk about Armada. Now, I did my ski ranking list. I got a lot of heat for that because I've only skied one Armada ski last year and I really didn't like it. And I think it was unfortunately one of their less, popular, prominent skis. So, maybe I just got an awkward whiff. That can happen with skis sometimes. But the big thing I really want to talk about with Armada is recently Lucas Catiana, and if you haven't seen his channel, it's pretty good if you like ski vlogs or watching people who go and ski different mountains. I think he's probably one of the best ones. Him and Rise and Alpine are my favorite channels to watch as far as like ski vlogs go. I've got a couple vlog style videos I've done, but primarily I do ski reviews. I do a little bit of everything, but I think these guys are real pros. They make my vlogs look like child's play comparatively. But Lucas kind of stepped into the ski review territory with his video from today. It's called the Armada White Walker 116 Review and Thought. And I gotta say, a lot of people do ski reviews and it's not always super helpful. Like Deb Armstrong did a ski review video, but it was all Fischer skis, which is fine. I like Fischer skis, but it's hard when you only do that one. Jens for Sava Tutorial, I think he's a good example. He did Atomic, but he was like very detailed and very good. And Lucas did it on his Armada White Walker skis, and then he also talks about some of his other Armada skis. And I gotta say, he did a really good job. Like, he goes into his history of why he likes these skis, what his ski does differently than some of the other skis, what the shape does. I think it's probably one of the best Armada videos I've seen out there. It's like very in depth, goes through what he likes about it, what its downsides are. He doesn't like kind of give this over embellishment like he's trying to sell you something. It's nice to see a non-ski shop ski review from somebody who really owns the skis and puts a lot of miles. He talks about his concerns with things breaking down over time. But the big thing that I noticed that really stood out to me in this review that caught my eye is that Armada does not sponsor him. If you look at his other video he did about a week ago or so with his ski gear, he has so much Armada stuff. He's got Armada jackets, he's got Armada skis. I think one of his only sponsors really is the sunglass company he works with. But he is not sponsored by Armada, and he puts so much screen time and so many people in front of Armada skis. And in my opinion, the thing I want to talk about today is that is one of the biggest fumbles I have ever seen in the industry. I cannot believe that Armada doesn't have any interest in this guy. Now, Armada doesn't have any interest in me either, and that's fine. Like, I almost kind of understand it because I'm not a big freestyle skier. My audience is really looking at like all mountain, powder, and carving skis. My friend Zach skis freestyle, and so I'll have him kind of chime in on things here and there. But all in all, I'm mostly like an all-mountain skier, so I get them not having a high priority with me. I'm not in their target demographic. But Lucas is really in that niche, and he does a darn good job explaining what makes a good freestyle freeride ski good, what makes a big powder ski good, what makes a ski good for Utah. What is going on? I mean, you guys don't have to send me skis, that's fine, but this seems like someone is asleep at the wheel over there. I've always gotten that impression when they ignored me that it was kind of like, oh, well, you're just not in our niche enough. And I was like, okay, fine, no hard feelings. And I work with other people at Amer Sports that I'm really like impressed by. I've been working with Joe Johnson for just a short amount of time, and that guy is like a pro. He is one of the most professional people I've worked with. Stuff goes out quick. He sends tracking numbers. I get him stuff really quick. He's been phenomenal to work with. So it's not like a company-wide thing, but it seems to be Armada specific. But what is going on? Lucas is like constantly advocating for you guys. He's like clearly very knowledgeable in your niche. Granted, he's not reviewing other skis, so like that is kind of hard where, Lucas, if you want to do more ski reviews long term, I would suggest like trying other brands because it does help give people a better perspective of what to compare it to. But all in all, I'm just kind of amazed that they don't sponsor him in any way. That was wild to hear. I was like, how does this guy stay afloat? I mean, he gets a ton of views, but like AdSense is really only strong about a third of the year for ski content. And for me, like I have a young child with autism, so I'm providing care for them, going to speech therapy, things like that. So, you know, like, this is a passion project for me. I love doing ski reviews. I love making content. But for him, this is like his full-time thing. I just don't get it, I guess. The other thing I don't get is it's not like this is his first Armada ski video. He did one a year ago. He's been skiing on them for years. He's constantly featuring them. What am I missing here? What? I will say though, like as a counterpoint, I do have a lot of respect for Lucas for actually just talking about what he's passionate about and not saying like, well, Armada doesn't sponsor me, so I'm never going to talk about them. He's clearly really passionate about these skis. He clearly likes that ski style. So kudos to him. I don't watch all of his videos. I can only watch so much vlog style stuff, but I do think like if you look at his editing, you look how he does like establishing shots and uses all the tools, it's really, really good. The other thing that I saw in the news I want to talk about is Ted Ligety recently announced that he's joining DPS Skis. He's going to be working with them to actually like help build skis and helping them with like building different prototypes, things like that. I know that he specifically talked about how he's excited to work with skis that use carbon because that's kind of something that DPS specializes in. I have not reviewed any DPS skis. I know that I talked with the head of DPS and they are planning on sending me skis for this year. We'll see if that comes to fruition. I'm always skeptical until the skis actually show up, but I don't know. I mean, they've been super cool and super nice, and I would say there's a high chance that I'm actually able to review them, at least if I'm just gauging it on how I feel based on the emails. But I saw a few people in the industry talking about how surprised they were that Ted Ligety was working with DPS, how DPS is more of like a free ride and, you know, big powder brand, and how they were surprised to see how well Ted made them look with carving. And to that I say I am not surprised by this partnership at all, and I think it's really exciting. It's nice to see Ted be able to bring in his industry knowledge, because he is probably one of, if not the most knowledgeable when it comes to carving and ski design and like tinkering. He was a big tinkerer when he was on the US ski team. He really liked messing with his gear. He really liked kind of optimizing that sort of thing, and this makes perfect sense to me. The other reason it makes perfect sense to me is I have like worked with his goggle brand. There was talks of the shipping and fulfillment center that I worked for, us taking over Shred goggles and distributing them that way. It didn't end up coming to fruition. It fell through, but the reason it fell through is because Ted loves working locally, and DPS is local to Park City. He talks in his article about, oh, I can't wait to like be able to just drive 7 minutes and go to work. He is really, really passionate about working with local brands and working locally. For instance, he didn't want to leave his Park City or Utah, Salt Lake, I forget where it was exactly. He didn't want to leave his warehouse because he knew the people and he could go down and touch the product, which I respect. Like, there's no hard feelings for him not working with us. And I don't even work there anymore, so it's probably good that he didn't work there, because it's kind of was not a cool company afterwards. Anyway, I'm getting in the weeds, but I could see that coming a mile away, where like if Head didn't need him working on skis, or if it wasn't localized enough that he could work on it, and he had this opportunity to help build something cool locally, it totally tracks with his line of thinking. And I think it's really smart, because you know, working with local companies is really good. You don't have to drive, you don't have to commute, you're not taking Zoom calls. You can go down and put the product in your hand and work with people there. I know that they were kind of specialized in the powder arena and the big mountain arena, but honestly, I think that most ski brands can do a good job marrying a powder ski with carving. I mean, look at the QST series as a really good example. And it's nice to see a ski brand say, okay, we've kind of got this down, right? We have a huge cult following of people who like the DPS for powder skis. Let's see if we can break into carving and maybe marry them in a meaningful way. So I'm really excited about this partnership. Actually, this is probably one of the most exciting things in the industry that I've seen. And there was certainly some noise and then it died down, but I'm really excited to see what kind of skis they make with Ted, because I think Ted's insight into carving is better than almost anyone. And he's also like been really good over the years of sharing his knowledge of carving with the rest of the ski world. He's always said like, all right, well, if you're getting that information from me, you're already probably 2 steps behind me, so I'm not worried about having like secrets. And I think that probably makes him one of the most influential people in the ski world, because he's had such a broad influence on young skiers, or how we all think about carving. It's kind of surreal, because before Ted Ligety, people thought about racing and carving very differently. A lot of it was based on Bodie style. I think Bodie too, like you look at what Bodie's doing with Peak skis, I think Bodie sometimes gets forgotten too, because he's also been very influential, and I really like what he's trying to do with Peak. Does he always hit it on the nail? No, but I think those were companies where he wasn't really actually hands-on building the skis, and the Peak 104s were really good. They're really good skis. They're not my absolute favorite ski, but they're doing some cool things, and it's nice to see changes happening in the industry, and it's like it kind of gives me this indicator that you might be on the edge of innovation. Again, that's speculative. Who knows what will actually be turned out by DPS? We'll only be able to tell once, you know, we actually have the skis on our feet. But for me, speculatively, it's really, really exciting. So kind of the opposite of Armada and Lucas. It's cool to see DPS be like so hands-on and willing to take input and willing to support kind of back into the ski community. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about those two brands. I know it's kind of a Friday video and it's a little bit different format, but I wanted to give you guys something to think about over the weekend. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Also, for people from the previous video that were upset about the Atomic Bent 110, I had one guy who was like, oh, you're just clickbaiting us and, you know, there's no skis left. I ordered a pair of those Atomic Bent 110s online. I think they just sold out really quick because $375 for an Atomic Bent 110 is really cheap. And REI has a lot of customers. Is it the first place I shop? No, but I think it's the first place a lot of people shop. So yeah, I was not misleading you. I really put a pair in my cart and I really ordered them. And so, you know, I'm sorry if you missed out on the deal. That is frustrating, but they really were that price, so there is no clickbait there. Anyway, I'll put more links. There's gonna be more deals. Keep an eye out. I'm constantly putting it in the description, so check it out down below. I'll see if I can find some other deals for you guys. I just got my like shoes replaced for cheaper through Salomon. It was like $50 cheaper to buy it from Salomon than to buy it from REI. Like, so sometimes I use those tools, the affiliate tools, just to find good deals. So anyway, that's the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. That's a free way to support the channel. You can also become a member down below. If you're shopping for ski stuff, please use the affiliate links because a percentage goes to us, but it literally costs you nothing. So if you want to financially support us without spending any of your own additional money, that's great. But you know, don't buy stuff if you don't need it. That's never what I want. But as always, more than anything, just like, thanks for being here. Thanks for taking the time to watch my videos. It means a ton to me. And I know you guys take time out of your day, so thanks for doing that. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.